Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And you talk about crazy. Last night, if you were watching that Thursday night game, that was one of the better games that I've seen in a very, very long time in the NFL. The NFL product is absolute garbage, and the reason why I say that, and if you're a millennial or a Gen Zer, you're probably going to call me a boomer, even though I'm a Gen Xer. But I saw football at its zenith, at its peak. I saw the greatest players of all time. I don't care what you say about Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. They were nowhere. Those guys couldn't compete. Maybe Manning, but definitely not Brady. They couldn't compete in the 1970s, 80s, and early to mid-90s with Joe Montana and John Elway and Dan Marino. Dan Marino today would make a mockery of the NFL. But today we're talking about Joe Flacco, who I am a big fan of. I always thought he was given a raw deal in Baltimore, and he was given a raw deal in almost every team he's ever gone on. He's pretty much a hired assassin now. I think he's on his seventh team now, which is this guy to me. He's fifth all time in passing. He just passed Ben Roethlisberger last night. And he's up there on the touchdown chart. He's up there in wins. He's got like 11 playoff wins, and 8 of them are on the road, which is like a record. You're going to call me crazy. This guy to me is a Hall of Famer. And what he's doing now, what he did last night, not even knowing the playbook in Cincinnati, 31 of 47, 342 yards, 3 touchdown passes. The guy put up stud elite numbers last night. And he's 40 years old. He has a better arm than I would say. I think he has the best arm in the NFL still. This guy can throw the ball 70 yards without trying. He has an arm like Marino, like Testaverde had, Randall Cunningham. He has this easy fucking motion where he goes like this and the ball goes 70 fucking yards. And last night with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, he was just boom, 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 all over the goddamn field. And Pittsburgh, their defense isn't that great, even though they have Watt. They can't get to the quarterback for some reason. They couldn't find an answer for him. And Jamar Chase, who to me is the best wide receiver in football, he had a monster game. I think 16 catches for 161 yards, a tub. And Mike Tomlin, who everybody was laughing at a couple of days ago when he had his press conference, when he was like pissing on Andrew Berry, who is as a general manager, he should resign what he's done to that franchise. The Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets are 2 of the most irresponsibly run franchises, I think, in American sports. And what they did with that quarterback room is a disgrace. Andrew Berry drafted a left-handed midget, and then he gets on the auspices of Deion Sanders. He drafts Shedeur Sanders, who we all know is a bust. We all know it. He's not going to amount to anything in the NFL. With the fucking chains and all the shit and the smiling and the smart-ass comments. It's no wonder Stefanski doesn't want to play this guy. He can't play. And they give up on a guy like Joe Flacco, who outplayed Aaron Rodgers last night. And Aaron Rodgers is one of the most gifted quarterbacks I've ever seen. And he can still play. But Flacco had something last night that he has never had in his career. He's never had elite wide receivers. And he doesn't have one. He's got 2. And if you keep him upright for 2 to 2.5 seconds, he's going to get that fucking ball out of his hand and real quick, and he's accurate. His arm is the strongest arm in the NFL. He can throw it farther than anybody. And he will hit these guys all day long. And you know what? If you're an NFL quarterback, you have 2 best friends. If you're right-handed, your left tackle and your wide receivers. And if you keep those wide receivers, if you keep that ball hitting their mitts, they're going to love you. And they're going to score. They're going to make big plays. And they're going to keep you in that huddle. Now, I'm not saying Joe Burrow is going to lose his job here. No, I'm not saying that. Burrow's going to be out for another 2 months. He's not coming back till January. What do you do if this guy goes on a 7-8 game winning streak? Which is entirely possible. I mean, if he gets you into the playoffs and Burrow is ready, then Joe is a professional guy. He's been here before. He's got a Super Bowl MVP. I'm telling you something. If he gets these guys to the playoffs and he plays really, really well, I mean, he's not going to do this again, but let's say he plays really, really well. At the end of his career, he's got to be considered for Cooperstown. Canton. He's got to be. Look at his numbers. I don't give a shit if he's been on 7 teams. One team screwed him over. That was his original team, the Ravens. And everywhere else he went, he was on bad teams. Now he's on a team that is good. The Bengals are a top team. They can win football games. And if he can stay upright, he is going to be very, very dangerous. You know what? This isn't dangerous. This is lethal. This is a bad situation for the AFC. And Andrew Berry is to blame. And Andrew Berry probably will be fired at the end of this year because Cleveland right now are an absolute mess. Now, this is some guy named Rizzo. He looks like a guinea to me. He is not happy. He is on Cleveland radio. Let's see what he has to say. This is a pretty good rant here. Let me tell you something. Cleveland fan, Tony Rizzo. You think he came from the boot? Cleveland it just looks like such a terrible place to live. I hate to say that, but the weather looks like it always sucks. It looks like England almost, Oh, God. Well, here's Tony Rizzo.
How could you do that, Andrew? How could you do it?
Easy.
Why on earth did you feel the need to trade this guy to a division opponent for a 5th-round draft pick? Fireable offense. That is a fireable offense. I want to know how much longer the owner's going to watch this crap because the fans have had it. We deserve better. You're worried more about your stadium than you are your football team. That's the perception, Jimmy. And you allow these people to do this. You have the worst offense in the league. Your GM screwed this quarterback thing up like I've never seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. Kids that play Madden could have done a better job. Truly. That's not hyperbole. It's a joke. It's a joke. This franchise has become a joke. And I'm sick of it.
Become a joke? Where has this guy been? The Cleveland Browns have been a disaster since Paul Brown created them. They haven't won. Well, they won one championship with Jim Brown many, many years, like in the 1964, I think, or 65. But that's it. They've been trash, except for those Bernie Kosar years with Marty Schottenheimer. They've been garbage. But now it's just to the level of it's folly now. I mean, these guys are ass clowns. And it's you feel bad for these fans, but you know what? In a way, they kind of deserve it too because they go to the stupid games. If you stop going to the games, if you stop spending money on these teams, the owners will do one of two things. They will radically change how they run the franchise, or they'll sell. But if you pay that money every day, and you go to the stadium and you pay for the tickets and you buy the jerseys and you do all the bullshit, well, the money keeps coming in. So what's the point? I mean, you don't have to. It's not like real football, European or world football, soccer, if you want to call it, where there's relegation, where you're sent down to the, second division and you're really fucked. No, you keep making, $700-800 million every year. It doesn't. Who cares if you win or lose? These owners don't care. Don't tell me that they do, because they don't. I mean, when is it going to be? When are you going to realize this? Now here is Mike Tomlin. This was a couple of days ago. This was a pretty good interview, a pretty good press conference, because I have never heard a coach or any NFL player or executive ever name anyone or call out anyone by name. And he was pissed off because Mike Tomlin realized, the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, realized that Flacco on a team with weapons is lethal. He's a problem and he can fuck shit up. And Mike Tomlin points the finger at who's to blame.
You know, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
What a day. You said
It's so ironic that that is a head coach a couple of days prior would say something like that. But he did. And he was right. That team is irresponsibly run by a guy who has no clue what he's doing. Not a clue. And Cleveland are a disaster like they've always been. And one day they'll play this Shedeur Sanders and he'll probably stink up the joint. And they'll look for another quarterback. And let me tell you something. If your son is a college quarterback, the last thing you want him to end up in is Cleveland or the Jets. That's the last place you want them to be. Carolina's almost on that level too, because those franchises are a disaster. But for Joe Flacco, tremendous job, good job for him. Very happy for him. I hope the success it continues for him. He's had a great career. I think he's not a first ballot, but I think he will eventually make the Hall of Fame. I really do, because his numbers just don't lie. And if he puts up if he saves this franchise, if he saves Cincinnati and puts up a run good enough to get them a wild card or maybe win the division, because that division's wide open. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, Burrow's coming back. This is Burrow's team. But right now, Flacco is fuego, and everybody in Cincinnati loves it. And the NFL should embrace it and love it too. It's a great story. He's a good guy, always a great teammate, always a great quarterback. Like I said, biggest arm that I've seen since the guys of heyday. And hopefully it continues. Cincinnati's a good little team. They haven't had much success either. They're almost like the Browns, except they have better uniforms. But let's just hope that Flacco can stay healthy, and he's a guy that never gets hurt, really. But let's hope that he can keep up the success and that he can make some magic happen in Cincinnati. And that's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Remember, my friend, Satan is always busy. Be a man. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. Go Cats. We'll see you later.